FAE, back at it again. I'm headed out right now. Glory be to God. Let me just say that, Jesus Christ. If you guys see the title, man, I'm going to try to get to it as simple and quickly as possible. And I know a lot of people, they're speaking on the Charlie Kirk thing, and I made a video on social media. And I'm not really good with social media to get a lot of attention or do like thumbnails or, I'm trying to figure it out as I go. But the first day that it happened, like when it happened, I was like, man, it's sad. Because honestly, for someone to really hate somebody for a certain reason, regardless of whatever it is, if they're not legit going out there and causing destruction, and they're simply just questioning the narrative of what we consider social norm or the culture, this shouldn't have even been a reason. But it's kind of like looking at the breadcrumbs that came along throughout this entire thing until the incident happened. And I know that right now, it only takes a few days that people start saying, this is fake, this is that. But honestly, I question a lot of things that I see. And compared to the Trump thing versus this one, it's, I don't know. Like, it's hard to say that this is fake, if that makes sense. Like, from every angle that we see the video, I'll say that it's hard to say that this is fake. And the more videos that you guys watch, the more it stinks from here to it stinks. Like, it legit looks like a setup in many different ways. But again, most unalivings and all that, to the degree where Charlie went into it, unfortunately, that's how it goes. Now, just perspective speaking, and just being a believer and follower in Jesus. And no, I'm not perfect, man. Like, I don't expect anybody to think that I'm perfect. I make my mistakes daily, and I try not to, but, I fall short, and just daily repentance and trying to chase after them. But what Charlie Kirk stood for, and this is the thing that gets me, is a lot of people, they have an opinion about something they don't know. And I'm not necessarily speaking that as far as in the Charlie Kirk, but I'm speaking this as far as in people who challenge the belief of, or challenge the existence of, or challenge the people who follow Jesus Christ. And I'm going to say this, and this is like a cliche, but, God says that they hated me before they hate you. And who can, if the world is against you, who can be for you? So we have a lot of people, and this is the most unique thing, because we kept hearing this throughout the last 3 years, is that there's going to be a great revival. There's going to be a great falling away. There's going to be a great revival. The great revival is coming. And then all of a sudden we see someone that's actually challenging the lies of Satan and confronting it in a way where people who want to play victim and want to be a victim, no matter what you say or do, they're going to make sure that they are a victim. And what he did was he just questioned it all. And he shared the gospel, saying Jesus is the only way. You need to repent. It's not the right lifestyle to be living. Look at everything that it came from it. And the people who hear it, and this is the thing, this is legit a spiritual war. He spoke to these people in the manifest. Some people, they're receptive, and They were prideful, but they gave the respect to at least listen to what he said. And then other people, they received what he said. And then there's people who just literally walked in pride and just, I'm right regardless if I sound ignorant. And the unique thing about it all is, you know, he protected people who even attacked him. And I think this is where a lot of people don't understand as far as in how wicked these people are cheering for him. They never took time to actually see how this man really was. And instead they take someone else's opinion to chop it up, all these video clips to make him look like something that he really isn't. And to the degree of where he stood as far as in advocating for what professional victims want to call the minorities. And he advocated for people who were in low income. And he advocated for people who were of cultural, and I'll just be straight up, black, brown, Asian communities, Latino, black, browns, whites, and he brought reasons to it. And what people want to do, and this is what I'm experiencing on my social media. I'm about to get off pretty soon. This is what I'm experiencing in my social media. I'm mixed. Both my parents are white and black. My white side, they grew up poor. My black side grew up poor. But the difference is that my black side, they had a motive to push and get to the next level. Not saying my white side didn't, but eventually my great-grandmother, she had 7 kids, if I'm not mistaken. 3 of those kids had degrees. One of them has a 6-figure plus salary. They all have good careers. Working in the government, working for big contract import companies. And I'm going to say this, man, we all have the same opportunity. And whatever your parents do, you know, it's going to affect how you view the world. If your parents is going to complain, I'm a systematic, oppressed person, and you see a lot, and you see people like literally just working their tail off and making it. Like, I have family members that act like that, and yet they look at their uncles and they look at their cousins, and they're over here managers of companies. They're over here making 6 figures. And it's like, I look at them like, how do you even, you live the same lifestyle, but yet you still sit there and you complain about something that you're doing to yourself. And that's what Charlie Kirk pretty much spoke about. He said, how you at a 4-year university, the same opportunity with all these quote unquote white people, and then all of a sudden you're the victim. It's personal choices. You choose to want to believe that you're a victim even when you're becoming a victor. Everybody has their pros and cons. Everybody has the same race that we're running. We're supposed to be racing to Jesus with all of our heart. But some of us, we're running the same race, but because what our parents did, or because what we're taught that we have lack of, we have these mental hurdles in front of us. And some of us, you know, again, you're raised in a poor environment. You got to fight to get out of it. But how much more are you going to gain versus people who don't experience that? And so what I'm getting at is a lot of these generational curses that people are like spitting on their kids, and people who are sending their kids to these institutions that literally throw God out the window. We forget that we're in a spiritual war. And what Charlie Kirk was doing is he unapologetically spread the gospel in an intellectual way where you cannot defute it. And then what he also did was he checked the revelation ews. Read between the lines on that one. Ews. And he questioned it, but he didn't sympathize for Palestine either. And this is where people, they get pissed with me about. And these are quote unquote Christians. And this is the thing that I don't get. I get it. And this is, and I said this in the first video I made, the second day it happened and the first day it happened, because I was just reflecting, man. It's like, why are they showing his unaliving on the scale that they're showing his unaliving? Any other platform, every platform, they're showing it, and they're showing it hit, they're showing everything, no, based off of how this man is. And he shared the gospel to the moment that they rushed him into the car. If it was any other situation, they would have blurted out, went against community guidelines, all this other stuff. And when I was thinking about that, I was like, man, I know what they're doing. They're trying to make people afraid to share the gospel. They're trying to make people afraid. Once I reach a pedestal, I'm gonna fear for my life. And Jesus says, do not fear, I am with you. For whoever loses their life for me will gain it. And I think the devil, he wants to plant that seed so we can build a covenant with it, so we don't step up to move in the spirit that we're called to move in, to move in our creation of what the Creator created us to be. You can't be unashamed of Jesus while working for the devil. I mean, you can't be you can't eat at two tables. You can't have two fathers. You can't preach the gospel and live the life of Satan. And I can speak to myself about that too. This is just for everybody. And I think that's what he was talking about. He was literally reflecting and questioning all the evil in the world. And when people want to give reason and give blame to things where if you correct the spirit of the nation, you correct the sin of the nation, you correct the nation. But people will rather fight and believe everything and stand for nothing. I've been saying this since I left college. People will literally die on that hill fighting and believing everything besides standing for something. And respectfully saying, I'm seeing more outrageous comments coming from black folks. And these are people who don't watch him. They're just taking a perspective of what he says. And that perspective is chopped up and manipulated to push a narrative. And the cold part about it is these same black folks that I talk to, they have government jobs. They have school positions. They own their own businesses. But they feel like it's a right for them to cry racism. And I don't care because he wouldn't care. But yet Charlie Kirk spoke the truth about the black community, gave reasons and simple fixes that can impact the black community greatly. And he held no form of unaccountability for the black folks, for my people. And then he also advocated for them and had empathy for them. I don't understand how people would rather believe the devil more than the truth. But again, people will go for the itching ears. See, this is more than spirit. This is more than the flesh. This is literally the spirit. This dude, he literally questioned the ews. He questioned everything, all the demonic stuff, and then they allow this man's death to be showcased around the world just so that they could put the spirit of fear out there. And I'm going to encourage every believer in Jesus who wants to step up into this fight. Let Jesus be your rock. Let him be your foundation. Do not move. Do not make these videos. Do not do anything drunk in fear, drunk in hate, drunk in anger. Don't do it. It's easy to do it. It's easy to do it. That's the reason why the world is the way it is. We got to live that hard life. We got to live that life of an example. I just pray that you guys can check this video out and just hear what I got to say. Because I wrote, even on my company site, man, Noble Collective, Bold and Truth. Check it out. It's a Jesus clothing brand. You know, we're just mom and pop shop getting out the bottom. But what I said is, if you see the life of Charlie Kirk, if he was anything like what he preached about and how he was, and it's hard to fake it for those many years, but if he's anything like that and his relationship was really with God, I would not be sad for Charlie Kirk. It's sad that it had to happen, yes. But our brothers in heaven, if anything, well done, my faithful brother, man. You have just been freed from this world. And to know that the gospel is true and he was martyred for the truth, like every great apostles who followed Jesus. This is what's going to happen. When you're too impactful against the kingdom of darkness, this is what's going to happen. And I'm sure he had death threats from here to high heaven before this even happened. I'm sure that a lot of things. And he stood 10 toes down for the gospel. I love you guys. Check it out, Noble Collective. Yeah, this life ain't the end. I'm gonna tell you guys that. So rejoice in our brother Charlie being reconciled back to our Father, because he is now in a perfected state, somewhere where we want to achieve to be at, through the mercy of God, through the grace of God. And just understand, people are going to mock and scoff the truth. People are going to mock and scoff Jesus Christ. I know I suck at it. I'm a little petty, very petty at times. And I know I need to slow down on it. But understand, Jesus is going to get the last say-so at the end of the day. And this goes to everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. This is for everybody. Love you guys. Peace.